This is the Level Up Podcast. I'm Taylor Petrinovich.
And I'm Kelly Gilster of 618 Studios.
And we are on a mission to help wedding filmmakers and photographers level up their businesses so you can make more and work less.
We want to help you confidently take your business from mainstream to luxury, and it all starts right here. Well, hello, friends. Thank you so much for joining me for another conversation here on the Level Up Podcast. I am here with my girl, Taylor. Taylor, how are you? We are at the end of August. You finally shot your first wedding of the year. How was it?
It was great. I know it's such a strange late start for me. I've never had a non-existent spring and just a heavy fall before, but there's a first for everything. Yeah, it was great. My wedding a few weeks ago was at Martis Camp, which is in the Tahoe area. It's beautiful. I love that venue. The ceremony space is like on the top of a hill. It's like a little vista point. It's gorgeous. And so it was a lot of fun. It was a great vendor team, chill wedding, really great way to start the season, which I'm really a fan of. But I'm actually obsessed with my two weddings coming up in September. I am just so excited. I've been like scheming and dreaming up like ways to leverage these ones for my portfolio, building out the teams, and all good stuff. So really excited for September.
You just used the topic of conversation today, obsessed. You're obsessed with the weddings coming up, and we are going to be talking all about how not enough of us are obsessed with our businesses, obsessed with the fullest potential. I actually was on TikTok. Taylor and I, we love TikTok here over on Level Up. And I ended up on the side of TikTok of, mindset shifts and these different girls that were talking about how like, you're not obsessed with yourself enough. It was more like personal development. And she's like, I know that sounds bad. And I know that you guys are probably sitting here listening, like obsession is such like a being obsessed with yourself or being obsessed with your business. That feels so selfish. And so we want to talk about how it's absolutely not selfish. Actually, when I was telling my husband, like, I'm going to start a 30-day journey of becoming obsessed with myself again, he's like, Kelly, that sounds very selfish. Do you hear yourself? And I'm like, no. It's like, let me rephrase it. It's becoming obsessed and focused and like falling in love with the idea of you reaching your fullest potential or becoming the best version of yourself or bettering yourself for the overall outcome on how it's going to affect those around you. And so I immediately called Taylor and I'm like, I love this concept for a podcast episode. And she's like, I love it too. And so we're going to bring it to you today.
I'm obsessed. It's great.
Yeah. So Taylor, let's talk about why obsession is a good thing and where do we see people falling short of that, where we can just tell like, you're not obsessed. Like we're not putting in the work. Maybe we don't have the clear direction in order to like reach that full potential. So maybe we hold ourselves back from really being like fully locked in to the obsession of our business.
Yeah. Well, I think that if you're not obsessed with your business, that's okay. And you can shift some things around and install some new tactics in order to become obsessed. But I honestly think that the pros of being obsessed with your business are that you stay hyper focused and hyper vigilant in all the things that you know you need to do to succeed. So for me, that's definitely how it kind of resonates with me in my life. The fact that I am so obsessed with my filmmaking business, with Level Up, all of those things make me, it kind of starts to occupy a lot of my free mental space. So I'll go on walks and that's what I'm thinking about. I'll be in the shower and that's kind of where my thoughts drift to. And I'm always dreaming up new ways to make things better or new goals that I have for myself, which I think just intrinsically allows me to push the needle consistently. And if you're not obsessed, if you're not thinking about it all the time, if you're not in love, I think like another way to do it is that you're in love with your business. You just love it so much. It's like your baby. I mean, Kelly and I each have 3 kids, but my business, I would say, feels like one of my babies. And I put the same, maybe not the same, but like a similar level of like love and care and attention into it every single day, just like I do with my children. And I think that has allowed it to grow to the point to where it is. But if I treated it like neglectfully, right, then it wouldn't have the same results. If you are half in, half out, 1 foot in, it's just something you kind of do out of obligation. You are absolutely never going to see the level of success that you are seeing others seeing who are obsessed with their business. So that level of obsession is necessary. And if you're listening to a podcast about growing your business in the wedding industry, my guess is that you're either obsessed with your business or you definitely want to be. So we're here to help you with that.
Yeah. Taylor, when we first started recording, we were kind of chatting a little bit about exactly what we wanted to bring to the audience today. And you said that one of the ways in which you locked in and became obsessed with your business is because of a goal for your life that you had outside of the industry. And then you were like, I'm going to leverage this business to be able to get me to that goal. So, do you want to walk a little bit about that? I feel like some of the longtime listeners know a little bit about this backstory, but I feel like for some new listeners, they might find this really interesting.
Yeah, okay, absolutely. So I'm going to rewind a little bit. So my my story is that I was a stay-at-home mom and I was bored, honestly, and I needed a creative outlet. And long story short, I picked up a camera, accidentally filmed my first wedding, just like so many of us do. It wasn't like a planned thing. And I instantly fell in love with it and started shooting weddings, and I shot 18 weddings that like first full season, and I never looked back. And of course in those early days you're really not turning much of a profit. I want to say like actual money entering the family's bank account was $30,000 that first year or something like that. So it's very low in the beginning. But as I started scaling, started growing, and especially once I stepped into the luxury market and realized that I can charge $15,000, $20,000 no problem for a wedding, the income started rolling in and my family's plans adjusted along with my income. Before that, my husband was the sole breadwinner of our family. We relied only on his income, and he is set up pretty well with retirement and things like that, where that is going to help our family a lot. But my income scaling has really allowed us to dream a little bit bigger, and I have become hyper fixated on what our life is going to look like in 5 years from now. In 5 years from this year, my husband will get to retire. And once that happens, we'll have the opportunity to move wherever we want to move in the country or throughout the world, because we won't be tied down to where he works in his job. And we have dreamt of this beautiful life that we're really, really working hard every single day to make sure is able to happen in 5 years. So I have this 5 year goal post for our family, and right now we're honestly hyper fixated on our home that we hope to either purchase or build in 5 years. And we want to move to Tennessee. That's kind of like right now where we're looking at like the Franklin area. We went out there last year, and we actually like we have friends who work in real estate, and so we went and toured a lot of homes, because I love Zillow and all of those websites where you can see housing listings, but I can never get a good grasp for like the scale or like how a home actually feels,
Yeah.
until I walk into it. And so it started as soon as we walked into the homes that kind of we thought we would want. Um, I don't know. Basically, what we thought we would be spending on a home doubled.
Oh, no.
And so I have this goalpost in front of me, and I have it as the desktop background to my computer. I have like a 5 year plan that I look at literally every single week and make sure I'm tracking revenue wise, to get there. And we're stashing money away like little squirrels with their nuts for the winter. And this like really big goal that's going to have a lasting impact on not only myself and my husband but our family and hopefully generations to come is something that keeps me lit up every single day. Last week on the podcast we announced that I started a new business called By Five Design House, and the name of that is By Five. I'm always up by five. And if you're the kind of person who can wake up and immediately start working, it's probably because you have some sort of like fire in your belly of being so motivated by something that it's worth it to spring out of bed and immediately like nose to the grindstone start working. And that's the phase of life that I'm in right now. And I don't think I would feel this way if I wasn't so dedicated to this mission of this home that I want to get.
Yeah.
So,
I
we're super transparent. Sorry, I know that's a lot of information for you guys and, like, look into my personal life, but that's the truth. So,
No, I love
yeah.
it. Thanks for sharing. And I think that there's something here that is what's going to really, I don't know, shift the mindset of those listening. And that is, we want you to become obsessed with your business, but we don't want you to throw your entire identity into your business. So I think the really important thing here is, sure, we're obsessed with our businesses, but it's because we're obsessed with how it is going to affect our life. We
Mhm.
don't believe here at the Level Up that like your business should run your life. We think that your business should add to your life. And so by coming up with whatever it is your why, your goal, your 5-year plan, and fitting your business mold into helping you get to that goal, that's what's going to help you never become burnt out. Taylor said you wake up every single day excited about your business because it's working towards something that is going to literally change your life. And that's so important because I think there's a lot of us that, look at maybe the ladder we want to climb in our business. And then you get to like this level, and then you get to this level. Okay, like I don't know about you, but like back in the day, we would always like throw so much value into like a venue that we were going to be working at, right? Like we didn't really have goals outside of our business in those early years. We were just like locked into business growth with no clear direction on how it was going to affect us as humans. And so what we would do is we'd get all hyped up about like a certain wedding that we were like, this one's going to be the one, and it's at this venue that we've always dreamed shooting because we saw someone that we looked up to shot at that venue. And then we'd show up and something would fall flat about it, and we'd be like, well, that was a bummer. And it just like slowly starts to kind of create these like little like subtle hints of burnout because you
Mm.
threw in everything into that
Like you're
rather than like,
jaded. Like you're
hey, what'd you say?
like you're jaded. Like it
Yeah,
makes
you could become jaded. Oh my gosh,
yeah.
there's so much that can happen in the industry when you've been in it for so long, getting jaded in those ways. But again, I've said it 16 million times, I feel like already, but like there has to be a why. So if you haven't really yet discovered what your why is in your business, do that this week, do it today, so that you can really just rewire the growth towards the good of your life.
Yeah. Otherwise, I mean, I think that you feel like you're on a hamster wheel. It's like you're running and running and putting in all this work, but why? Like for no point. And if you don't feel like there's a point to it, then you're not going to be excited about it. And I mean, I get excited for the artistic side of things too. Don't get me wrong. Like I told you, obsessed with these two weddings in September. I've seen the design decks, like I've seen how it's going to look, and like it's going to light me up artistically. But from a business side, like I'm also looking at how it's going to just get me 1 inch closer to my ultimate goal for 5 years from now, right? And I'm also looking at it also how I can leverage these two weddings to get even better ones next time, which ignite me artistically and add to my bank account for that future thing too. So it's like a compounding effect where you have to be so excited that you're going to just do an amazing job, which is going to get you closer to that ultimate goal too. And there's so many reasons why you could be obsessed about your business. Like it could fund your children's private school education. That's such an incredible why behind your business. It could be the fact that you were able to retire your partner or your spouse from their job so that they can come work for you and you get to spend all the time together, which is also amazing. It could be that you have a relative or a parent who's undergoing treatment for cancer or something, and you want to be able to take that burden off their plate and pay for their cancer treatment. Like, there's so many financial reasons that are amazing whys that are not selfish at all. Like it's not selfish to like want to be able to provide for the people that you love.
Yeah, I love that. Okay, so Taylor, let's uncover maybe 2 or 3 things that we see from an outsider's perspective, either when we are doing brand audits for potential mastermind students or we're looking at kind of some social media tactics. We follow lots of you filmmakers and photographers over on Instagram. And so we see different ways in which those in the budget market operate on social media versus those in the luxury market. So Taylor, what are some ways that you see when you can tell that someone really hasn't really dialed in that level of focus to become truly obsessed with their business and their potential?
I would say the number one is treating social media like it's your own like personal social media, if that makes sense. And so the way that can kind of look in the real world is popping in for spurts and then not logging in for 3 months at a time and then popping back in, like treating it kind of like a whenever I feel like it kind of thing is number one. The hard thing about this industry is out of sight, out of mind. If you're not showing up, then people kind of forget that you even exist. And so if you are not treating it seriously, like you're obsessed with it, then that's something that I see people fall into. And then the other one is treating it as if it's like your personal diary or your personal page where you want to complain or have really extreme opinions on like different things that could be off-putting to potential clients or others in the industry, or showcasing things that just don't shine a positive light on your brand for whatever reason. Um, it's not something that you would ever see any luxury brand doing in the wild, whether that be, luxury cars or luxury handbags or things like that. And so I think that the line gets a little fuzzy between us as a person and us as a brand. And if you're obsessed and really treating it as a brand, then that's a really great way to like stay focused. But
Yeah,
yeah.
of
Mm.
course. Yeah, and I think there's probably some people that are sitting here being like, well, wait, I'm still kind of lost. I don't know that I have like a roadmap in place in order to determine how to become obsessed with my fullest potential, right? I think there's
Mhm.
there's a real thing that maybe you don't have that guiding light to be able to show you, no, this is where your fullest potential could be, or understanding the different levels of the wedding industry, knowing that there's levels 2, 3, 4 steps and stages ahead of where maybe you operate now. I was so guilty of that in those early years. I felt like in like 2015 that I had arrived because I just didn't know. I had blinders on. I was so focused just on the video side of things, and I didn't look at how I could collaborate with the entire industry as a whole in order to leverage referrals, leverage being able to hitch my brand wagon to other businesses. And maybe some of you guys are sitting here being like, whoa, you're speaking a different language. I don't even know what you're talking about. But this is all things that we talk about within our mastermind program. And we have a fall program launching again in October, which we are so excited about. We've already had many pre-enroll and save their seat inside of our mastermind. So if that interests you and you're like, I need a mentor, I need that roadmap, then we would love to have you inside of that program as well.
Levelupcode.com/mastermind if you want to learn more. And it's also always in the show notes. Yeah, that's basically what we do inside that program is we show you what's possible, then we show you how to get there, and then we make sure you get there with a lot of hand holding and accountability, which is probably our students' favorite parts. But actually, you know what? Let's do this. Let's like think of ways people can kind of grade themselves to figure out if they are an appropriate level of obsessed with their businesses or if they really need to do some like internal work and in order to like turn that fire on. So you can tell you are obsessed with your business
If you have a clear plan in place for the year ahead on which weddings are going to be your portfolio pieces and which ones aren't, like you're doing a lot of like pre-planning work there. For years and years and years, I treated every single wedding the same. I just showed
Mhm.
up on that Saturday and I was doing, 3 to 4 weddings a month. And I was just showing up on that Saturday and clocking in, doing the best work that I could for that client. And then I would leave and the video would be edited together and I would put it on the website. I wasn't categorizing into buckets which ones were ones that were really going to further my business, which ones were kind of below where my business should be operating, and then which ones were kind of like at the level that I was operating. And so once I like rewired my brain to be able to look at like, hey, no, this one is one, this one isn't. Like I can look in on January 1 and see like, what do I have booked for the year? Which are my portfolio pieces and why? And once I kind of was able to unlock that new strategy for my business, which is what we teach our students inside of Mastermind, that's when I was able to be like, cool, I can actually like build that snowball, push it down the hill, and just let it build that momentum for myself.
Yeah, that's so good. Yeah, if you're in the rinse and repeat cycle where everything just feels the same day after day, Groundhog's Day with every wedding, you're probably not obsessed with the business. Okay. Number 2, you probably are obsessed with your business if I'll take this one. If you know the number of weddings that you need to book for next year to hit your income goals, and you have a solid plan for how you're going to make that happen for yourself. If you have like a very clear road ahead of you when it comes to marketing, that is going to more than likely result in your calendar being filled. If you are leaving things up to chance and it's like, whoever books me, or not taking initiative, then you're probably not obsessed with your business enough. But if you're like, no, I'm making this happen, I am determined, here is my game plan, ABC, then you're probably a healthy level of obsessed.
Yeah. I think also obsession can look like the way in which you look at people who you look up to
Hmm.
and like using the same types of strategies that they do. So that could look anything like looking at the way that they approach social media and then you following in the way that you approach your social media game. What are they posting? What's the content in which they're posting? How are they how are they like aligning with other creative partners within their Instagram and social media? Are they on TikTok? Are they not on TikTok? Which platforms are they on? Also looking at their websites, looking at their imagery as a whole. Like, are they capturing like a new fresh take that you want to begin to implement into your wedding day workflow? Like, it really, for those who maybe don't have that innate creative ability, that just aren't like as naturally gifted at that, which like my husband will say, we had a talk a few weeks ago and he was saying that he's like, I'm not naturally gifted at videography. I'm just not, but I have to work so much harder into really consuming and dissecting the way in which shots happened, in which how they set that shot up, how they color graded that. Like, it's just like being on like a basketball team. Like, you're going to have the kids on the team that are just naturally gifted, that don't even have to show up to like the weight room every single morning. And then you have the kids that are like, hey, I want to play on the team. I want to play the game. I don't want to sit on the bench. So I'm going to show up and work 10 times harder in order to find my place in that. And that's so true, I think, for us as filmmakers and photographers as well. There's people who are just naturally gifted with that ability and they can kind of like float by on their artistic skill. And then there's others that are like, I have to become obsessed, and to reach my fullest potential, I have to put in work 10 times harder, and that's okay. And so, like, just really like think about that. Like, be so real with yourself on, is my work to the level in which I want to reach my fullest potential, or is it not? And what is it going to take in order for me to get there?
Yeah, no, that's so true. And I think those kids who would be on the bench but end up being able to play all season were very methodical in looking at what their weaknesses are and trying to emulate or learn exactly who has already mastered those things and like infuse them into their own skill set. No, it's so true. I think that there's a method to the madness, and skill and talent are actually two different things. Talent is inherent, and skill anyone can learn. And so I think that should be very inspiring to everyone, that everyone can succeed because you can be determined to build those skills. You just have to take initiative. Actually, that goes into my third one that I kind of came up with while I was listening to you talk. And I think that you have a great, healthy, perfect little level of obsession if you're always looking for ways to be better. So for you this year, that looked like your rebrand. Like, that was your weakest link. You looked to like, how can I make this better? That's how it was. And so if you're looking at your business, at your artistic skill set, and you're thinking like, what feels like it's just not quite up to par? What could be a little bit better? Where am I lacking? Or where am I just a little behind my peers? And really taking initiative and making moves to make it better. And then rinse and repeating doing this year after year. Then I think that's a healthy level of obsession. And we'll go through different seasons. Maybe one year it is your shooting. Maybe another year it is your editing and your color grading. Maybe it's your marketing, your branding, your relationship building, your workflows, the etiquette. Like you're just really focused on identifying where you may be lacking and then taking the steps that you need to take in order to improve.
Love that. Yeah, it doesn't have to be everything all at once. It can
No. Mm-mm.
be, yeah, like I think we all agree that year 1, 2, we are in like heavy into understanding our gear and how it works and the workflow of that. Like that's very normal. But as we grow, we got to kind of move on past the gear. Filmmakers, I'm looking at you, chatting directly to you right now. Um, and as filmmakers ourselves, we get it. But there's so many more components to a healthy business and a profitable business. And we are here at the Level Up Co. ready for every one of our listeners to have a profitable business. And we want that to be you sitting in 2025 and even having your most profitable year yet in 2026. I think this was a great one, Taylor. I have
Yeah.
one little note though.
Mm.
Tomorrow we are hosting a free class. And if you're still listening and you haven't registered yet, we would love to have you in class with us. Taylor and I are teaching a brand new strategy, and the class is called Referrals on Repeat. We would be honored to have you inside. There's going to be details in the show notes on how you can save your seat. Come join us for this free live class. We have hundreds that have already signed up, and we want you to be one of them as well.
Yeah, we would love to have you in there. We're really going to be focusing on building out a system for marketing that relies heavily on referrals. When it comes to building relationships and gaining the trust of others in the industry to the point to where they will refer you for free to their clients, it really takes a lot of skill and strategy there. And so we're excited to uncover that for you guys so that you can enter the 2026 season in a really powerful way. So we hope to see you tomorrow. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you next week. Thank you for joining us in today's conversation. Please help us reach more filmmakers and photographers like you by taking a screenshot and sharing it to social media. And don't forget to tag us at The Level Up Co.
And join us again next week, same time, same place, as we continue to level up the industry together.